Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time of day you are watching us. It's your man Earl, CEO. Fantastic day, great day, moving through. New product is in the bookstore, so stop by. Definitely have new product. New product arrives Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We've been out of town, so we're a day behind on putting it up on the shelf, but we do have new product. And you might see, if you follow us on our social medias, you're probably going to see some snippets and a commercial made about it in the next 2 to 3 days. With that being said, CEO, the date and episode number is on you.
June 14th, episode 165, June 2023.
There you have it. Episode 165, June 14th, 2023. Moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next one. Earl, I'm struggling on moving on. I have a hard time letting go. I have a hard time seeing my future. I have a hard time processing what's next. How can I and how do I move on to better? 3 quick things and I'm done. You ready? How do you move on to better? How do you move on to the next one? How do you move on to the next potential client? Number one, and if you're taking notes, I suggest you take notes, put it in your journal. Number one, these are 3 quick steps. Number one, how to move on. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. N-O. That word no quite possibly is top 2, top 3, easily top 5 strongest words in the English language. Learn how to say no. Why must you learn how to say no? Because of 2 things under no. So Roman numeral number 1 is no. Point A is time. Point B is resource. Because you don't have infinite amounts of time to spend or to invest or to give. And so you got to learn how to say no. Why? Because your time is a unreplenishable resource. You don't get time back. B is resources. Yes, you can spend money. Yes, you can lose money. But by the grace of God, sometimes you can get the money back. Sometimes you can't get the money back. So you got to be learning how to say no. You must become wise about saying no. Not in a disrespectful manner, not in an egotistical manner, not in a negative or pessimistic manner. Just learn how to say no, thank you. Okay? Roman numeral number 2. How do you move on to the better? How do you move on to the next one? You must create boundaries. What do you mean by that, Brother Earl? Roman number 2 is create boundaries. Point A is you must determine and distinguish who's in your circle. Roman numeral number 2, create boundaries. Point B, you must determine and let people know who are out of your circle. Not in a disrespectful way, but it's who you choose to spend time with. Okay? You got to create boundaries. Everybody should not have equal access to you. Everybody doesn't need your phone number. Email is one thing. Giving somebody your Snapchat handle is something totally different. What I'm talking about is everybody should not have equal access to you. You have to create a boundary to determine who is in your life and who is outside of your life. I didn't say somebody that you don't know. I'm talking about somebody who you clearly do not fraternize, associate, be seen with. You got to create boundaries. And you must let people know, listen, you're on the inside. So there's an expectation of behavior. And if you can't meet that expectation, you won't be on the inside. That's not being mean. That's creating a boundary for you. Okay? Roman numeral number 3. You must learn how to set priorities. And I suggest you have 1, 2, 3. That's it. Don't have 8, 9, 10, 12 priorities. 1, 2, 3. Okay? You must learn how to set priorities. Okay? I have my priorities. If anybody who's been around me, anybody who knows me, they know my priority structure. And guess what? I'm not going to repeat it. Because if you've heard me before on the channel, you've heard my priority structure. So you have to know me, be in my circle to understand what my priority structure is. 1, 2, 3. You shouldn't have more than 3. That's just my personal opinion. And I'll say it again. That's just my personal opinion. Okay? Because priorities take time. Priorities take resources. So you can't have 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 priorities because something is not getting proper time and proper resource. All right? So how to move on? How do you move on to the better, to the next one? Number 1, learn how to say no. No with your time, no with your resources. Number 2, how do you move on to the next one? Create boundaries. What's the boundaries, Earl? Who was inside your circle? Who was outside your circle? How to move on to the next one? Roman numeral number 3, set priorities. What is your priority structure? I strongly suggest no more than 3. Priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. And are those 3 things that get your time, those 3 things that get your resources, those 3 things are inside your boundary. And now you see how you can move on when you are clear with your time, when you are clear with your resource, when you are clear with who is inside your boundary, when you are clear with your priority structure. It's your man, Earl. God bless you. God keep you. June 14th, How to Move On, episode 165. Peace.